I've just received two very different pleas for help about celebrity cruises. One from a 60-something couple who've cruised Celebrity often in the past, but are now worried that the line is too modern, youthful, and they really will not feel welcome. And then another from a younger couple. They want to celebrate their joint 30th birthday on Celebrity, but they're worrying it'll be too stuffy, they won't have much fun, and it's not for them. So before applying to these two conflicting perspectives, I spent some time reflecting on my first-hand experiences on my recent celebrity trips. And here's what I realized. Welcome aboard, I'm Gary Bembridge. So what exactly are Celebrity up to, and what are they doing well right now? Then we look at what they're doing less well. Although what they're doing risks absolutely driving traditional celebrity cruises away, like that first couple, they are pushing the experience more upmarket, making it more luxurious, and they're shifting out of the category that they currently operate in. So they're currently in what's known as the premium category, along with cruise lines like Princess, P&O Cruises UK, Holland America, Cunard, and New Virgin Voyages. Then above that, there's the small ship luxury cruise category, which includes lines like Viking, Oceania, Windstar, and Azamara. So previously, if I wanted a more luxurious experience, I had to go on those smaller ship lines. But Celebrity is starting to push away from the traditional premium cruise lines like Princess that they compete with to be more like the luxury smaller ship experience. They're trying to be less stuffy, more contemporary, and much more modern. They're doing 6 things that mean they are achieving this, in my view. First of all, the ships are changing. And the most dramatic example is with the Edge class ships, which are very different in every way to the others that they have in their fleet at the moment. Secondly, across the fleet, they're introducing new decor. They're working with designers like Kelly Hoppen to make it plusher and more contemporary across their existing fleet. The third thing they're doing is pushing service. I think of all of their current premium line competition, Celebrity does have superior service. And what's interesting, as I'll talk about later, is they've also done that at the same time when they've scrapped add-on gratuities on most of the fares. Fourth, they've elevated the food. It's more stylish, it's presented in a more artistic way, and the quality and range of items on the menu has been elevated to what I usually expect on those luxury lines that I was talking about. The fifth thing they've done to shift to the more luxury side is with more all-inclusive fares, which includes things like drinks, package, Wi-Fi, and gratuities. This did mean, though, that their prices have increased. Then they're also at the same time making it more family friendly. They're now offering families an opportunity to have a much more luxury cruise experience without the cost of going on those smaller ship lines. They're doing things like increasing the size of the kids clubs, the amount of kids club activities. Now, many of these changes could, though, I feel, be alienating for that traditional celebrity traveler couple. But I think what they're doing well, though, is making the line look and feel more upmarket. For both of those couples who asked for my advice, I also told them Celebrity have further upped the whole sense of luxury by focusing on the suite experience. They've repackaged it, renamed it, and it's now called The Retreat. It's very much drawing on the luxury ship within a ship concept, such as Norwegian Cruise Line's The Haven and the Yacht Club that is on MSC Cruises. They now have some of the biggest and the most costly suites at sea. They're glitzier. They're more contemporary. There is the iconic suites, for example, a massive space on the Edge class ships above the bridge. They have Edge villas on the Edge class as well, 2-level apartment style suites. Then they have smaller suite options as well. So I stayed on my last trip in a Sky Suite, which is the entry-level suite. To be honest with you, it's not really a suite. It's basically a large cabin. But on my previous cruise, I stayed in the Celebrity Suite on Celebrity Silhouette, which did have a separate bedroom, and so it was kind of more of a real suite. But what did I actually get for my money in the Retreat? I got a butler and to dine in the Lumini restaurant, which is outstanding. Now, while it doesn't perhaps have the depth of the menu and the ability to order off menu like in Cunard Queen's Grill, the food is fantastic. It looks amazing, and the service was absolutely exceptional. I also got to go into the retreat lounge with daily nibbles, afternoon tea and concierges. There was a beautiful deck with a bar, food, pool and hot tubs, and of course also priority boarding, tenders and disembarkation. I think overall they have the best premium overall suite offer of any of the premium lines, including Cunard, because although Cunard Queen's Grill food beats them, the overall retreat experience is better. So if that is important to either couple, then I said they should absolutely consider Celebrity. This brings me to the next thing that I think they're doing really well, and it's that they're evolving and giving cruisers two clear options, which is where both these concerned travelers may actually find I have the answer for them. Celebrity has three classes of ships: Millennium class, which includes Celebrity Millennium with 2,218 guests. Then there are Solstice class ships like Celebrity Solstice, which has 2,850 guests. Then there's the Edge class ships, where Edge and Apex have 2,908 passengers, although the new Beyond and Ascent have an extra deck and carry 3,260 guests. This now means there are two very different approaches and sets of ships. The Millennium and Solstice class ships are classic traditional cruise ships that look and will feel very familiar to my and for my traditional cruises in terms of the exterior, internal layout, the venues and the facilities. On these, Celebrity still have a traditional and classic cruise program similar to the other premium lines, but with a more contemporary twist, and the events tend to be more high energy, trendier and definitely run later into the night. Then there is a very different approach, which is Edge class. This is very different in almost every way. From the outside it looks different. There is the magic carpet down one side, which operates as a bar and restaurant and doubles up as a platform for tendering. They have infinite balconies where they've totally scrapped the traditional balcony and instead have a sliding glass panel with seating inside the cabin. This has changed the whole exterior look of the ship. The venues are also very different to the Solstice and Millennium class ships. The main dining room has gone. It's been replaced by 4 standalone restaurants that guests can rotate between. Celebrity Central has been replaced by The Club, a 2-level venue where they hold high-energy activities. The Lawn Club's been scrapped, and now there is the rooftop terrace. All the specialty restaurants have also been replaced. For example, on Solstice there's Sushi on 5, Tuscan Grill, Murano, and Silk Harvest. But on Edge you have Fine Cut Steakhouse, Le Grand Bistro, Le Petit Chef, and Raw on 5. The production shows are more ambitious, with high-tech screens. There's more avant-garde shows in the club. Even things like the 80s quiz on Edge was high energy, crazy, with air guitar, dance-offs, and so on. So back to those two sets of people who asked me for advice. For the 30-year-olds asking for advice about Celebrity, I suggested they try Edge. But for the 60-year-olds who are used to traditional cruising, I steered them more towards the Millennium and Solstice class ships. But I told both of them before they went ahead, they needed to know what Celebrity are doing less well right now. So let's talk about that. First of all, which is the flip side of everything that I've spoken about so far, is they are becoming a more costly option. The downside of going more upmarket and more luxurious, of course, is the cost. They're actually starting to narrow the gap in price by leaping up from the fares on other premium class lines like Holland America or Princess, and they're actually moving closer to those for smaller ship lines like Oceania and Viking. Now, they announced originally that always included would be their only fares, so they built a cost increase in their fares when they moved to that because they included gratuities, Wi-Fi and drinks package. Though they do seem to have quietly reversed that, and they also offer now cruise-only fares, certainly at the time of recording. The always included fare does add unwanted extra costs for some like me. I don't drink alcohol, for example, and I wouldn't normally buy a drinks package, but now I'm having to take the cost of that particular aspect. But on the flip side of that, if you are a keen drinker and you prefer premium brands, always included only offers the standard drinks package. So I met many people on my last cruise that had felt they needed to upgrade to the more premium package, The Wi-Fi included is standard, but I had to pay to go premium to get the streaming quality I needed, and it still wasn't that good. So although that Wi-Fi is going to probably change because they're switching to Elon Musk's Starlink, it still meant that despite it theoretically being included, I had to pay extra. Always included, by the way, includes gratuities, and that was a big plus because I found that the crew were not angling for more tips. In fact, I still tipped my butler and cabin steward, and they genuinely seemed surprised. But I did notice a real change in how the crew seemed to be being incentivized. It seems to be based very much on guests' ratings, and I think that could actually be driving the big service improvement. For example, in the Luminar restaurant, my waiter made a point of saying, please fill out the survey, talk about the overall experience, talk about the service. If you feel like naming me, that would be great too. The second key thing I think they're doing less well is being consistent as they evolve. So while making a lot of being more contemporary, being more youthful, for example, all the guest artists that were on board were the same faces and the same acts that I see across all the other classic premium lines, many still singing Beatles, Frankie Valli, and other songs that even I see as my mum's era, and she's in her 80s. But they're not playing contemporary sets and music even for me, let alone for younger guests. The live music around the ship was also, I felt, a little bit dated and would lean heavily into ABBA, the Beatles and so on, which is fine. However, it's not modern, and in my view, it's not contemporary. Next, considering they want more families to cruise Celebrity, talking to parents, they said the Kids Club and program were fine, but not yet as good as the more family lines. And there were certainly no real family-focused excursions that I could see on offer. The next area where they are definitely falling behind, in my view, is solo travel. Now, it's improved because they've introduced some solo cabins on the Edge class, but there's only 16. There are only 4 solo cabins as far as I could find out on Silhouette, and none on the others. So in terms of solo travel, it's not a great experience on Celebrity because you won't find them often offering solo fares either. I have paid the same as a couple on my last 3 Celebrity trips, even though I've been going solo. Now, based on all of that, both groups of people who contacted me were actually happy with my recommendation. But if Celebrity is not for you, watch this video about another premium line where I look at things that people believe about them that I think are wrong, starting with if it's stuffy and boring. See you over there.